I don't know if you found this now, but everyone thinks because there's iPhone 25s or whatever they are, everybody thinks they're a videographer.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, oh no, sorry, we're actually going to do it on our phone instead now.
Yes, but you just smile politely and you get another email a few weeks later when things don't work out.
Exactly.
And then it's...
But you do get some of those people where it's just like, oh, actually, we can't afford that, we're just going to do it ourselves. And then it's just like, I can promise you now it's never going to look good. And having to try and explain that argument of like, you can shoot on the best phone in the world, but it's not going to look as good as a camera.
Yeah. There's a few different ways of looking at that, because as a creative, everything is down to you, and you take it personally. Mm-hmm. It's hard to separate that as well. If they're like, oh, we can do the same thing on the phone. It's like, well, what about all this experience? What about all these skills? And there's a lot of different levels to being a full-time professional within media and knowing how to handle things than just whipping your phone out. The phones do so much of the work for you to get into what looks like a final image, but you've got no control over that. The phone does whatever it wants to do. Yeah.
So it's, and especially as well, it's quite interesting seeing the shift of like going from when I was at uni, it was like, so if you wanted to make a promo video for a brand, you know, the best time is like 5 minutes. Now it's like the best time is 20 seconds max. And it's like every brand wants short form content now. It's like people don't even stay around for 2 to 3 minute videos anymore. And that was like, you know, you should aim to be 2 to 3 minutes even a couple of years ago. And now it's like, we need 10, 20 seconds max because no one's going to care. And then you've got the challenge of like, how do I incorporate all these shots and tell a brand's story in 10 to 20 seconds?
Because sometimes the story is the point. Sometimes it does make sense to run around with a phone and just tell a story and not care about the production and the structure of it. However, there's a lot of connotations along with the message that the media brings. If you're doing that, it shows that you're not prepared to put money where your mouth is and to show a professional perspective. So I think in some ways, yes, there are some companies that have just kind of fallen on the wayside and decided to do things on their own in that way. But I think there's always going to be businesses that want to be able to promote themselves in the best possible light.
So you know what's really interesting is something I found out recently, especially with my sort of delving into Twitch and stuff like that, and then having to make short form content of the streams to then promote it. I've noticed a big thing now where it's like on sites like TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, the main consumers actually prefer shit looking things. they do. Because I put a video out, I put a short out, and it was filmed on my camera, and it was part of this video essay I made for a game that I played, and it did shit. And then I did one with my phone.
Adderwild.
Yeah. And then I was like, because I've seen a few TikTok comments where it was like, the more effort put into a TikTok, it looks like an ad, so people just skip it.
Yeah, that's very true.
Whereas if it's just filmed on a phone, no one gives a shit about the lighting, the framing or anything. If it's just on the phone, it's raw, it's real, and people emote, is that the word? They engage connect with it more because it feels more real. And then that kind of scared me a little bit as someone that spent 15 years of their life making sure every shot is perfect, being then told, now the shitter the better. Like, do you know what I mean? It's having to learn a whole new thing to try and keep, I suppose it's the younger generation more so, engaged.
But still structuring the message. I don't know. It's a matter of being adaptable, and as we were saying, you kind of got to figure everything out. And just have a go at it, even with these live streams, even with your Twitch. We're just finding a new platform, way of promoting, sharing, and connecting.
And having fun as well, because that's the most important thing. Like when I started Twitch, it was like, I could make money out of playing video games. And then after like the first or second stream, you're like, oh no, this is really fucking difficult. And it's so hard to like, even now, like I've been doing it since August last year, and even now it's like so hard to get like a steady amount of viewership. But one thing that I did find out whilst doing it was I actually like love interacting with strangers on the internet, and just even if it's just names on a chat, like having that fun with someone and brightening someone else's day.
Yeah.
And that goes with like why I make music as well. Like the reason I like to create, I think I found out recently, is to bring emotion out in people and improve their day if they're having a shit day. Because I know what it's like. I've got really bad mental health, especially the past few years with COVID and that. I know what it's like to feel like shit.